I know it's a I know it is a short notice. I just called you this morning to be on the call and I forgot to send you an email. So apologies for all that, but you're here finally. We have close to 12 minutes before we end the call today. So Chinedu, introduce yourself and walk us through what is your education? Where did you basically come to know about us? What happened with your the course that you did with us, and your first time around getting a job, and now the recent job that you got placed. So congratulations on that. But just quickly, just take 5 minutes. Just go through your story with us, please.
Yes. Well, my name is Chinedu Iloka. And I took the class with Abhishek about a couple years ago, and I graduated from pharmacy school before that, 2018. And I was kind of just floating around trying to figure out what exactly I want to do. And I heard about people that work in industry and the training that they have to go through. Normally, like the first year after pharmacy school, do a fellowship or something, and then from there you can go along. But then I also found this other. That's when I was searching, is when I found on the MediPharm Solution and what they have to offer. So I did sign up for the class, and after I was done with the class, you know, I got my first job through using the agency through MediPharm, and then halfway through that, the contract got terminated, and then I was back up in the job market. And after I was in the job market for some time, and I finally just landed another position again, and I contacted Abhishek about it, and yes, he said it would be good to just speak to you guys about it, just if there's any concern.
Awesome. So where did you do your pharmacy, Chinedu?
Yes, I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University, which is in Madison, New Jersey.
Okay, great. And the first time that, I mean, you did the course with us in drug safety and pharmacovigilance, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the first time around when you got the job and you went into, I believe you did the course with us in 2021. And the same year you got into the job, right?
Yes.
And the first time when you went, and which company do you work for the first time? I forgot.
The first time was ProPharma. I worked for ProPharma. They had a new project with Nuvaxovid, which is a COVID vaccine, and they still have that project, but they downsized the employees because they kind of mass hired before.
Okay, and when you went into ProPharma with the subject knowledge that you gained out of the course, were there any challenges, or were there any kind of like, okay, I do not know this, I have no clue what is this kind of scenario after the course, or you were able to be confident in doing your day-to-day activities? What was your experience there?
Yes, that was one of the biggest thing that was concerning for me starting, because I remember I called you and I asked you a lot of questions early on starting off. Yeah, you just told me to just don't worry, just kind of, every company is different. So when you go to any company that you go to, they're going to take their time and for the first week or so show you the way that they run things. But when it comes to the case processing, with August and everything, it's literally the same thing. It's literally the same thing, but as you guys know, August is very customizable. So you might go there, they might just take off one tab and add a different tab that's more specific to their company. But in general, if you just know how to process the case from, the triage to everything, then you should have nothing to worry about. The only thing that you should really be stressing about is just the SOPs that the company is going to give you, which everybody have to look into no matter what your background is.
Great. So now you were in ProPharma, you were able to sustain there, and then I know what happened with ProPharma with the COVID vaccine trials. Downsizing happened, and then you're back in the market. I believe you went to Nigeria, right?
Yes. So after the ProPharma thing, well, I already scheduled to go to Nigeria in December. But we had an idea that the Novavax project will be coming to an end, at least as we knew it. So unluckily for me, I got laid off in December, 2 weeks before I traveled to Nigeria. So I just took that as God telling me to just travel in peace without worrying about it. So I just traveled and I was there and I was in no rush to come back. I was there for a very long time actually. But as soon as I came back, I was back at it. I started applying again, just get back on the market. It takes some time to build up. You just need to keep applying every day because one day you might have two, the next day you have 10 now in total. The next week you have 20. It all adds up. And the people that actually call me, they call me 3 weeks after I applied. So I completely have given up on the whole thing. And then they just call me out of nowhere 3 weeks. Okay, now we're ready to hire. So, if that was how that kind of went. But yeah, I was in Nigeria for quite some time.
So long vacations always work.
Yes, absolutely.
Good to know that. I'll take your advice on that. So the thing is now currently which company are you working? What's your title?
So right now I'm working for, I'm not sure how much I can disclose, or how much you want me to disclose, but my title is senior associate in pharmacovigilance. So basically, I I just check all the case from the top to bottom. Like some days I'm still in training right now because it's my first week, but like some days I'll be doing triage, like we've all learned. If we went through the Abhishek school, some days I'll be doing triage, some days I'll be actually booking in, some days I will be doing a data entry, and then since I'm my pharmacist background, I can also do review as well. But now I'm still working on data entry because you kind of have to get used to that. But that's what I do there now, so that's kind of my role. Yes, I'm not sure. I know we discussed after before the meeting, things that I can or cannot say. So I don't know.
So yeah, you should not be talking about the client and the pay and yeah, I understand. I forgot. All right, cool. So from here, what are some of the things? I mean, I know that this folks on this call, it's pretty much their first class, and that's where they're silent. I'm sure they're not going to be this silent the following modules. They're just new to the whole scenario. They're taking their time. But what are the top three things that you recommend new folks who are on this call taking clinical research or pharmacovigilance course? What are some of the things that comes to your mind from a job
Yes,
perspective?
yes. From where early on, since this is the first class, I would say just don't. You know, I believe for you to make it to this class, you must have done something education wise, like doctor or pharmacist or nurse or whatever profession you are in health. Just you've learned as much information that you need to know. So don't stress. Oh, this is not another like ID class or anything. This is just technicality of learning how to use the system. Like August, if you learn how to use the system and what it's supposed to mean and how I should talk about it, then you should be fine with anybody else in regards to pharmacovigilance world, because different companies use different programs. My friend is using RSG right now, which is a different program from August. But if you know the basics of, okay, I receive a case, I triage the case, I book the case, I process it, I send it, I review it. If you just know that process and what they serve, just pay more attention to those type of things. You should be fine. Don't worry about, oh, where do I find the patient tab or this tab or that tab. It's more about what's in the patient tab and what would you actually put there. When you check other softwares, they always have those basic things like, okay, who's reporter, who's the patient, okay, what's the adverse event, okay, what is the how do you guys analyze this case? Does it cause it or does it not cause it? Okay, good. Now, how do we report this case to whichever company or regulation that we have to report it to? Those are the more things that you should pay more attention to. Don't try to know the nitty gritty of, okay, I click that tab, I move it there, like that. Don't pay too much attention to that.
Awesome. Thank you, Chinedu. That's valuable. I think you kind of wrapped it up very well for us. Guys, any questions? Any questions for Chinedu before we let him go and close the call today and we meet on Tuesday? But any questions before we wrap up? No question is a stupid question you can ask.
I would like to know his entry-level job title, like the first one.
What was your pro forma job title, Chinedu?
Well, this is like an anomaly, so I wouldn't use this to like, to set some type of parameters for yourself. But I was senior pharmacovigilance specialist. So as soon as I came in, they actually gave me a team. On my team, I had a triage person, a booking person. Like it was really my job to make sure, okay, did they triage it right? Did they book it right? Did they process it right? Okay, how are we sending it? And then I speak with my pod lead to make sure, okay, these are the cases we received, and these are the questions we might have. And because it's a new company, we also work in making like all those SOPs. Like we find the mistakes they have on there and we report it. So it was more, that's not typical. Normally you want to start with something just normal associates, data entry. You don't, but again, don't limit yourself. Apply everywhere, everything. But you can literally do anything from the top to the bottom soon as you're done with Abhishek class.
Awesome.
Great, thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going once, twice, thrice. Okay, good guys. So Chinedu, thank you for coming on the call. You can leave now, and I'll talk to you soon.
No problem. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So guys,